What? What's this? During the presentation of a project my boss and I worked on together, an unexpected incident occurred. My boss's PC got infected with a virus. The screen went black, and a random string of incomprehensible characters appeared. The participants in the presentation frowned. A virus infection. This is an IT incident. What if there's been a data breach? But I have something in my mind. Do you still say that after seeing this? Shut it down immediately. This is no time for a presentation. I glanced at the screen over my boss's shoulder. Can you let me handle this? What? What do you mean? As I operated PC, murmurs spread around us. Who is he? That's right. My true identity is, my name is Robert Taylor. I'm 33 years old. A businessman. When I mention the name of the company I work for, people are surprised, envious, and then even more surprised when they match it with my last name. The company is called Taylor Electric. Yes, it's run by my father. I've been the president's son since I was born. In elementary school, in middle school, always the president's son. People might think I've had an easy life. Life isn't that simple. Just because my parent is capable doesn't mean I have the same abilities. Hey Robert, got a minute? Of course you do, right? My colleague Richard drops a pile of documents on my desk. As he slaps the stack, which is as high as people's face, he gives me instructions. Scan all of this and send me the organized data. Sure, okay. Judging by the amount of documents, this will take a lot of time. It's a simple task, but it will take half a day. The reason why, even after 10 years at the company, my colleague assigns me such administrative tasks is just one. I am a Windows side employee. Robert, you don't have much else to do, right? No, let me rephrase that. You can't do much else, right? Unlike me, Richard, who marks me, not only graduated from a top university, but also consistently leads in performance. He is truly what you would call an elite. Always at the forefront, leveraging his knowledge and experience to excel in his work. I used to admire his intelligence and demeanor when we were new employees. Seriously, I'm jealous that you get paid for such an easy job. In the past few years, he's thrown snide remarks at me every time we meet. Indeed, the difference in our workloads is like night and day. If you weren't the president's son, you'd have been fired long ago. Life is so unfair, being born into different circumstances. He says that, but I can tell he thinks the opposite inside. No matter how privileged your upbringing, if you lack ability, you only suffer from the gap. Conversely, if you have talent and knowledge, you can rise to any position you desire. Richard recently got promoted and is on a roll. Meanwhile, I'm a useless Windows side employee, just as Richard said. My father can't fire me because I'm his son. It would hurt his pride to fire his own son. Things can't stay like this. But thinking that I'd just end up in another Windows side position if I moved to other companies left me paralyzed. One day, a woman named Margaret Brown was transferred from a branch office. I heard she's also 33, but she's already a manager and is working at the headquarters as part of her training to become a director. She's had a remarkable career path. More of an elite than Richard. Seeing peers my age succeed only fuels my inferiority complex. I would like to work hard too. I would like to achieve results. I've been given many chances, but none have turned out well. Eventually, I failed at everything. People around me started thinking it was better if I didn't work at all, and that's how I ended up in a Windows side seat. Margaret, being a candidate for director at her age is impressive. I heard she was the youngest ever to become a manager. I could hear the whispers of my colleagues near my desk. They looked at Margaret, who was welcomed by the top executives at the headquarters, from a distance. Wow, she's competent and beautiful too. I also heard Richard's voice nearby. It seemed he was talking about Margaret like the others. Given his pride, I wondered if he resented someone more promising than himself. But his thoughts were different from what I expected. Don't you think a woman like her suits me? I see. That's how he looked at her. I thought, who does he think he is? But if he was being nice, that was fine. As long as he didn't start fights with her like he did with me, it was no problem. I was just concerned that the office atmosphere wouldn't get worse. However, Margaret and I ended up interacting more than I expected. Robert, could you look into the patent for this manufacturing method? Also, the documents you prepared yesterday were easy to read. Thanks. Can I ask you to do it again? Sure, yes. Oh, you don't need to be so formal. We're the same age. But you're my boss. We started the same year, right? So we're colleagues. No more formal language from now on. With that, Margaret left quickly. I was left there, stunned. Indeed, when she first arrived, the other managers and directors told her, "You can use Robert however you like." I greeted her knowing my role was like a gopher, and from the very next day, she began assigning me various tasks. Not just simple chores, but direct support for her work as well. I was bewildered, wondering if it was okay for me to handle it, but I couldn't refuse when asked. Eventually, she even invited me to have lunch. Did I do something to make her like me? Or is she just trying to get close to her co-workers quickly? I couldn't figure out her true intentions. In any case, she didn't seem to be trying to befriend just anyone. After all, Richard, who had said he was aiming for Margaret, hadn't even exchanged contact information with her yet. Why does Margaret like Robert so much? I overheard Richard saying resentfully as I passed by the meeting room. Well, maybe he's just more useful. Even with other employees trying to calm him down, Richard's frustration didn't subside. I'm clearly more competent, but when I offered to help, she said she'd ask Robert instead. Why? Is it as per precedent instruction? I don't think that's it, and I don't understand why Margaret relies on me either. Why would she entrust important tasks to a Windows side employee? One day, while I was pondering whether to ask her the reason, Margaret, who seemed to be taking a long time with her work, asked for my support. The task itself was supposed to be simple, but the new system we were using slowed things down since we weren't familiar with it. Before I knew it, it was past 10 p.m. It's done. Me too, really, thank you. It wouldn't have been finished without you. I was a right decision to involve you. Anyone could have done this. Really, everyone else was struggling with the new system, but not you, Great Robert. Great Robert. Does she expect a lot from me? Maybe she's overestimating me. Hey, let me treat you as a thank you. It's Friday after all, right? It's really not necessary. Don't worry about it. Oh, you're so uptight. It's fine. There's a place I want to go, and I'd actually prefer your company. Okay, if that's the case, I'll take you up on your offer. Great. I was surprised to see the usually composed career woman Margaret expressing such acute excitement. She always seemed strict with herself and others, but she had a surprisingly feminine side. By the way, where are we going? Margaret was humming a tune while getting ready to leave. She winked at me in response to my question. A special place. What? Just wait and see. Her ambiguous reply made my heart race unnaturally. And the place she brought me to was a hot spring facility. There were other adults coming straight from work like us, as well as families. There was a dining area, but it wasn't a large facility, more like a hidden gem known only to a few. This is my favorite spot. I found it right after moving here, and I always come here when I'm tired. While checking in, she happily explained this to me. It's been a long time since I've been to a hot spring. I started to feel excited too. We agreed to meet in the lobby in an hour and a half, and I went to the men's bath. From the outside, the building looked small, but inside it was surprisingly spacious with a wide variety of hot springs. My shoulders, stiff from sitting at a computer all day, began to relax in the soothing water. I enjoyed the carbonated bath, the hotter baths, and alternated between the sauna and the cold bath. I savored the outdoor bath, gazing up at the night sky. Though only a few stars were visible due to the city lights, I still felt my heart being healed. Lowering my gaze, I noticed a door at the corner of the outdoor bath area with a sign saying, "Natural Hot Spring, Mixed Gender Cypress Bath Ahead." A cypress bath. I wanted to try it. But the mixed gender part made me hesitate. I had no improper intentions and just wanted to enjoy the bath. But I had never been to a mixed gender bath before and didn't have the confidence to enter boldly. Eventually, the allure of the cypress bath won me over, and I opened the door. Gathering my courage, I found no one there. There was a cypress bath filled with steam. Right. Not everyone would come here. I worried for nothing. I stepped into the mixed gender, no, private bath. The scent of cypress enveloped my body, feeling pleasant. While enjoying the bath in the night breeze, the door on the women's side opened. I instinctively turned around. It was Margaret. Margaret. Is that you, Robert? I couldn't believe Margaret came to the mixed gender bath. It's awkward enough with strangers, but it's especially uncomfortable with her. Okay, I am leaving. I hurriedly tried to get back to the men's side, but as I was stepping out, she grabbed my arm. Wait, hold on. What? You were going to leave just because of me, right? That's a waste. This is my favorite hot spring, and I want you to enjoy it. But Margaret was properly wrapped in a towel, so of course, nothing was visible. Still, sharing a mixed bath with a co-worker seemed wrong. Noticing my discomfort, Margaret spoke cheerfully. Feeling awkward? Don't worry, my eyesight is poor, so I can't see much anyway. Even if Margaret couldn't see, I had perfect 20 by 20 vision. But it felt rude not to enjoy the bath she recommended, so I returned to the tub. Margaret also got in, sitting next to me. There was only a person-sized gap between us. A slight stretch of my hand could reach her. This fact made me uneasy. Does Margaret not find this situation awkward? Her indifference felt strange too. How's the water? It's perfect. The breeze feels nice. The aroma is wonderful, very relaxing. Glad to hear that. Internally, I was far from relaxed, but I couldn't admit that. I focused solely on enjoying the bath. I tried my best not to look at Margaret's body. After getting out of the bath, I waited in the lobby, and she soon joined me. Sorry to keep you waiting. Margaret was wearing glasses. Glasses? Oh, I told you my eyesight is bad, right? I usually wear contacts. I took them out for the bath, so now I'm wearing glasses. Do they look strange? No, not at all. I was just surprised. Actually, there was more to it. I felt like I had seen Margaret with glasses somewhere before. And not just once or twice. Even though it should have been my first time seeing her like this. Hey, should we get something to eat? You must be starving. Of course, let's do that. We ordered whatever we liked at the restaurant inside the hot spring facility. We also ordered beer, and at first, the conversation was light-hearted and friendly. But then Margaret's expression suddenly turned serious. Is there something bothering you? Robert, why are you in such a position? You're smart, have strong opinions, so why is there a reason? What? Smart? Why does she think that? Why do you think so highly of me? Do you know something about me? Well, I saw your name in middle school exams. You were always at the top for 3 years. They said your IQ was 150. I see. You remember that well. Robert is a unique name, so it stuck with me. Got it. My dad's a fan of Robert Downey Jr. He had high hopes that I'd live up to the name. I was good at studying back then, but it's not uncommon for childhood success to fade, right? I'm the same. I was only brilliant back then. I was indeed expected to do great things, and I met those expectations for a while. But things didn't go well in the long run. I couldn't become the son my parents envisioned, as you can see. So, people talk about how I got my job through connections. I said this with a hint of sarcasm, and Margaret pounded her fist on the table. That's not true. What's wrong? Margaret's eyes were intense. Could it be that she's not good with beer? Robert, you're really capable. You just haven't had the right environment to show it. But with the project I'm working on, I think you can reclaim your glory. Wait, Margaret, what are you talking about? Let's make the president recognize you. It's wrong for him to force his expectations on you. We need to show him that there's a place where you can truly shine. With that, she suddenly slumped onto the table. Margaret? I thought she might be feeling ill, but it seemed she had just fallen asleep, drunk. I had no idea she was this weak with alcohol. What should I do? I didn't know where Margaret lived, and carrying her to a taxi would be tough. Then, I noticed a poster on the wall. Apparently, this hot spring facility also offered lodging. I quickly went to the front desk and booked a room. I managed to wake Margaret enough to support her to the room. Seeing her sleep peacefully on the bed, I finally felt the tension leave my shoulders. At the same time, I realized the fact that I was in a bedroom with a woman. We weren't in that kind of relationship, so maybe I should just go home. But leaving her alone while she was still not fully sober didn't seem right, so I decided to stay too. The next morning, when Margaret woke up and remembered everything, she blushed and apologized profusely. Her reaction was so amusing that I couldn't help but laugh. Since then, I felt our relationship had become even closer. A few days later, I was working on a proposal at Margaret's request. Her project involved developing several new models of washing machines. She said she wanted to include one of my ideas. Developing new products was a major project, needless to say. The fact that I, a Windows side employee, was involved made other employees look puzzled. I still didn't understand why she relied on me. But I knew she wasn't playing games with me. Determined to meet her expectations, I spent a week working tirelessly at the office. However, this won't work. When I brought the proposal to the president, he glanced at it briefly before handing it back. What? Both Margaret and I were stunned. The proposal focused on simplifying the washing machine courses, which many elderly and male users found cumbersome and complex. In short, it suggested making the system simpler and incorporating a touch panel for easier operation. I thought it incorporated past feedback and current needs without duplicating previous products. But it didn't resonate with the president. The president, who was also my father, looked back and forth between Margaret and me and asked, "Who came up with this idea?" I did. When I raised my hand, he gave me a cold stare. I thought so. It lacks innovation. It's just a patchwork of previous proposals. My father has always been strict with me. Even though I'm used to it, it still stings. Noted. Apologies. Your thinking is too naive. What have you learned working at this company, Margaret? You should have stopped this kind of proposal at your level. Margaret tried to say something, but the president continued expressing his dissatisfaction with me without listening to her. Honestly, you were a prideful son, that ended in middle school. What? My father looked at me and sneered. It was clear he considered me a disappointment. Going to a third-rate university, a guy who can't meet his parents' expectations in college won't succeed at work. Is that something you should say to your son, or rather, to your employee? I had been quietly listening, but Margaret stepped forward. My father, clearly not expecting to be interrupted, was stunned. He is an admirable person. Now that he's an adult, does academic background really matter? Is a prideful child just someone who obeys their parents? That's outdated thinking. It's disappointing to hear such words from someone like you, President. Let's go, Robert. Margaret pulled me by the arm and headed for the exit of the president's office. I heard, "Wait," from behind, but she ignored it and left. "Are you okay?" saying something like that. Staying in front of him would have been a waste of time, listening to pointless talk. But if you upset the president, it might put you in a difficult position. "You're worried about me, thanks." But he was the one who was rude first. If he tries to cause trouble, I'll repeat our conversation in front of everyone. More importantly, Margaret took the proposal from my hand. Flipping through it, she seemed to be thinking deeply. Then she spoke brightly. "Let's improve the proposal. We'll make the president eat his words and beg. Please let us use Robert's idea." Her playful tone made me smile. Margaret was always on my side. "But why, Margaret? Why do you think so highly of me? Everyone else sees me as a burden." "Do you see yourself as a burden, Robert?" "Well, things never go well, so I guess that's how it is." "I see. When I was a child, I was overweight and called fat and ugly." "Really, you?" "Neither of those words fit the person she is now." "Yes, I was bullied a lot. But I changed thanks to someone. I wanted to be recognized by that person, so I worked hard on my appearance and my studies. After that, no one mocked me anymore." Who could have had such an impact on her as a child, I wondered. "I know people can change, so I want you to try too, Robert." "For me?" "Robert, you don't have confidence in yourself, do you? Maybe you're unconsciously holding back your true potential." "That might be. I know you're really smart and capable. What happened? If you're comfortable, I'd like you to explain." I felt that I could open up to Margaret. "My father, as you know, is the president. Since I was young, he always told me to become a respectable adult so I could take over the company one day. I studied hard and got top grades in school. Then, he put me in a prep school, saying I needed to be the best in the country. After that, it was go to a prestigious university. His expectations were endless. I kept wondering how far I had to go to satisfy him. And one day, I just got tired of it all. I couldn't meet his expectations anymore." "I see. You can't show your abilities because it's hard to live up to those expectations. Deep down, you're holding yourself back." "Maybe that's it." "I think so too. That's why I don't want to pressure you in the same way. Do you have anything you like or are good at? Not something your parents told you to do, but something you did on your own." "Well, I like working with PC. At first, I played games to escape my parents' pressure, but then I got interested in programming. I even made some apps for fun." I said this, thinking about how much I enjoy working on the computer, and suddenly she grabbed both my hands. "That's it. Let's use that." "You mean programming?" "Yes. Remember when you stayed late with me the other day? We used a complex system, but you handled it effortlessly. It's the perfect job for you." Margaret was getting excited, saying, "Let's upgrade the proposal using your skills." "Wait a minute. My parents know I do programming, but they said it's useless since I'm not a professional and that my skills are mediocre." "Are your parents experts in programming?" "No." "Then their words mean nothing." "But it's a waste of your talent. Let's prove them wrong." "But I don't want to pressure you. Do you dislike this idea, Robert?" "No, I don't. I appreciate you thinking about it, but I lack confidence." "I see. But it's okay to fail. Everyone fails many times before they succeed." "That's true. Hey, can you teach me about programming? I want to work on it together." "Sure, I got it." From then on, we continuously improved the proposal. I listed out what I could do and what I might be able to do with programming, comparing it with past projects and user comments. We decided to develop a tool where an app would verbally guide users through operating the washing machine. The app would inform users of the necessary amount of detergent just by them putting in the laundry. If this worked well, it could be applied to other appliances too. Making machines more convenient is good, but it's meaningless if people don't know how to use them. Our job is to help people live more comfortably. The deadline for developing the prototype was a week away. This time, we would present it in front of everyone. I wanted as many people as possible, not just the president, to evaluate it. It was nerve-wracking, but it would lead to growth. Margaret and I worked overtime every day to achieve results. One day, it was past 9 p.m. I got up to go to the restroom. As I walked down the hallway, someone grabbed my shoulder. It was Richard, looking extremely annoyed. "Hey, working late again. Do you really think it's worth it?" "Well, I have work to do." Richard should have gone home long ago. Could he have stayed just to make snide comments to me? I tried to give minimal responses to avoid provoking him, but he didn't seem to care. He didn't hide his irritation and raised his voice. "You're so full of yourself, acting like you're actually doing something useful. No one cares about your 'I'm working hard' act." He had no right to say that without knowing how hard I was working. But perhaps he couldn't be blamed for not knowing the current me. So I responded firmly. "I'm not the same person I used to be. I don't want to be stuck doing menial tasks just because I'm a Windows side employee. Okay, you're just riding high because Margaret likes you. You and Margaret will regret trying to achieve something at my expense." "I won't regret it. Even if we don't succeed, we can learn from it. That's if you don't get fired." Richard scowled as he walked away. It seemed he had stayed just to pick a fight with me. To him, my efforts must seem reckless. But as I had declared to him earlier, I'm not the same person anymore. I won't be distracted by others' mockery. I'll believe in myself and Margaret and keep pushing forward. A few days passed, and the day of the presentation came. The meeting room was filled with the president and other executives. I couldn't help but feel nervous. But if we were recognized here, our efforts would surely pay off. No matter the outcome, if we fall, we can rise again. Let's give it our all. Margaret patted my back. I nodded and stepped forward. For this presentation, Margaret would be presenting, and I would be supporting her. I opened the computer and projected the presentation materials onto the large monitor in the conference room. But as soon as the materials appeared, the screen turned bright red. What's this?" Margaret's eyes widened as she frantically typed on the keyboard. The screen then went black, displaying a random string of incomprehensible characters. This was not the presentation material, nor was it part of the plan. It was clearly a bug, and from the looks of it, caused by a virus. Could this be a virus infection? "Margaret, what is this?" Margaret's direct manager frowned. "A virus infection. This is an IT incident. What if there's been a data breach?" "But I don't know how this happened." "Do you still say that after seeing this? Shut the laptop down immediately." This was no time for a presentation. I leaned over to look at the laptop screen beside Margaret. "Margaret, it's okay." "What? What do you mean?" "It's just a simple virus that messes things up a bit. I can remove it quickly. It's not a large-scale issue, nor is it the kind that sends data somewhere malicious." "Robert, can you fix it?" "I see this kind of thing often. Give me 2 to 3 minutes, and I can handle it." I started working on Margaret's laptop. My actions were displayed on the large screen. Everyone was watching, but time was of the essence, so I kept working. A bit earlier than expected, the laptop was restored. "It's all good now." "It's really fixed, Robert. You're amazing." Margaret quickly rebooted the laptop. Nearby employees, who had been watching, looked at each other in astonishment. "Did you see that? Incredible. I had no idea Robert had such skills. Isn't he more efficient than the IT department? We've been underutilizing him." Once the materials were displayed, the praise subsided. "My apologies for the interruption earlier. Let's start our presentation." Regaining her composure, Margaret began the presentation with precision. Using the demo app I created, everyone expressed amazement. "To conclude," she said, "as you saw earlier, Robert, The creator of this idea is proficient in programming. Developing the app in-house will be more